I'm Cory McAbee. I'm a musician and a filmmaker and actor and drawer. And I was commissioned by Sundance Film Festival and GSM to create one of the first 5 small screen movies for mobile distribution. And it was released in February at the 3GSM convention in Barcelona.
Daniel Graff, founder.
It's key, I think, to put into context some of what we've been talking about today in terms of content. We looked at some different projects, and I think GSM, myself, and the directors met up with Robert Redford, and they commissioned a deal to do 5 short films to mobile. Why do we want to do the short films? Is to look at all the end-to-end issues in terms of creation all the way through to delivery. Now, our remit was to deliver through all devices, but only for mobile. So the commission editors said that he had to actually make the film in a 2x2 format. So we weren't making for this screen, although you're going to see it on the screen in a little minute. We were making it for consumption 6 inches away from your eyes, which is completely different from a creative perspective, and I'm sure Cory will explain later. But we had to then deliver it via Bluetooth, we had to put it through memory cards, we had to create WAP links, all the different services to actually get it to a mobile phone, and what were the issues around that.
Sundance first called, I was away with my band and had just been working on that song and had been performing it, and it was new and people liked it. So Sundance said, you've got 2 months to make a short film for a 2x2 screen. It's going to be seen in 216 countries. So that immediately set I couldn't rely on dialogue because most of the people who would see it wouldn't speak English. And they also said, we're hoping you'll make a musical. And so I chose that song because people liked it that week. So I thought, well, that's a good place to start. And when I was thinking about a 2x2 screen, I started thinking in terms of what people are already used to seeing on a 2x2 screen. And one of the things is digital cameras. You know, the screen's about that big anyway, and so you're used to documenting your life in that. So I thought I would start with that. So the pictures at the very beginning, they were pictures that I took around my neighborhood and stores, but then simplified them by working with a friend of mine who's a graphic designer, creating collages. So first off, I got rid of all the corporate logos and name brands and stuff, which I wasn't supposed to use, and made these very generic-looking, simplified images that you wouldn't be missing anything if it was small and came up quickly. You know, they were just what they were. And then another thing I thought about was surveillance cameras, or surveillance monitors. You're used to seeing very small, so I thought, you know, I could use that and incorporate that. And a third thing that I thought about was now with MySpace and a lot of the online programs, you're used to seeing people representing themselves in small loops. They'll have a little loop happening over and over again on their page. And so I thought, well, I'd use loops and create layers of loops. And whenever I think of loops, I always think of the early Max Fleischer cartoons, the Betty Boop cartoons, and how when I was a kid, those loops used to mess with my head. So I thought I would create a little vignette using loops. And so obviously in the background, the guy bobbing his head, and the little girl are on a constant loop. The 4 cowboys, which was me dancing around, singing up there, I had 4 cameras set up. And so I'd start at square A, walk in, start at square A, and dance to square B. And then that loop would start again. But a second camera would start, which had picked up the exact same action. So eventually you've got the angles of 4 different cameras just showing the one motion. And so you've got this little 4-way dance. And I was trying to make something that, when I was thinking of this format, I was concerned with trying to make something new and that I hadn't seen or done before, something that would be new to me to work on. So that's what I came up with. Another element of it was also the sound quality. I never had a mobile phone until I made this, and then when they showed it in Barcelona, they gave me a phone, and now I have one. So, but I didn't know the sound quality was so good. I didn't realize that people would be listening to it through headphones, so I originally thought I would dummy down the sound and make it a very simple track, but then I found out there were these MP3 players, and to me, that's sometimes can be more than half of it. I have a feature film called The American Astronaut, and I've shown it in theaters where visually it was good, but the sound was horrible, and so it just was bad. And there was a point when I was touring with it with my band, and we played it at a place in San Francisco called the Great American Music Hall, you know the place? And so, and it sold out, which was a nice surprise. And a friend of mine came late and was stuck towards the back, and they didn't have a very big screen. And when he got there, he said he thought that it looked like a postage stamp, you know, the screen on stage, and he thought, this is going to be, you know, how's this going to work? It's going to be horrible. But the moment the film started, their sound system was so enormous that he was all encompassed by it, and the size of the screen didn't matter. And I feel like that's one of the benefits of watching something on a 2x2 screen with really good sound, watching it through headphones, is it does pull you in.